Hello everyone, welcome to the official Fall Forecast 2018 by me, Matthew Benz, and with my company Central Plains Weather Center. And if you guys are ready for fall, I know I am. Let's get right into the forecast and let's just go. So first thing to look at for this fall is the ENSO. Will it be El Nino? Will it be La Nina? Or will it be neutral? And most of the models are showing a weak El Nino, just maybe even a slighter, weaker El Nino, could even be possibly a warm neutral for the fall. But most of the model ensembles are pushing towards a weak El Nino, and there's also a cashless El Nino. So instead of it being the warm waters being by the coast of South America, they're going to be outside in the central Pacific, as you can see in this next graphic here. So a regular El Nino, the warm waters are on the near South America, okay, during a central base El Nino, which is called an El Nino Modoki, whatever you want to call it. You have the warmer waters here across the central Pacific, and you have cooler waters to the east and to the west. Now, what happens here is that we don't get a traditional El Nino, and we get more of a central base El Nino, which can change we can get more different weather patterns with a Modoki El Nino than a regular El Nino. So it could bring big impacts, and as you can tell by the water temperature, by Alaska, there could be some good blocking here. You have some cold across the United States, and as we look as we look across the other ocean here, you can see there's a warm blob across the northeast, and what's happening right now? There's a warm blob across the northeast, and that's why it's been so warm there. The Bermuda High has been strengthened by this warmer water across the eastern United States. Is that it causes for at least the winter time, or for the summertime, it was warm in the east, and I do think the Modoki El Nino strengthens the Bermuda High in the summer, and we can see what happens from the east to fall. And this is when I looked up, I made correlations. These are the correlations I found for fall. This is the upper air pattern on the left, and this is the upper air pattern on the right. You can see from the upper air pattern on the left, there is a decent trough across the southwest United States, and what happens is dig in and push eject out. And you can see temperatures are cooler than normal for majority of fall, and there is potential that we could be looking at a cooler fall with a Nino 3.4. Basically, that's where the warm temperatures are right now, and that's basically what central base El Ninos are. Modoki El Ninos, Nino 3.4, and that's where the primary state of it is right now. So, and I mean, if you look at this map, you have upper height across Bermuda High in the east, which is happening perfectly in the summer. So it's a good correlation, I think. These two maps are showing you. And what I also want to show is during an El Nino. So I don't know if this correlates with a Modoki El Nino. I'm not sure. I know it brings different anomalies across winter. But for the fall, I'll be interested to know if a Modoki El Nino is different than an El Nino about the cold streams, because you can see on this map the cold streams, there's a lot of cold stream percentage increase in risk, and you can see it's very, very cool across the southwest, the western tier, the central United States, the Ohio Valley, even the northeast has a cooler risk, and you can see it correlates well. On the right side, we can see with all the cooler temperatures across the areas that, yeah, look, there's increased cold, especially in Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, over in the southwest. Ohio Valley has some increased chances for some cooler risk as we look into this fall forecast, and it could happen. I mean, it looks like potentially that this could happen, and so it's good to look at correlations and good to look at other things from NOAA and PSD. Next thing I want to show is is the precipitation during El Nino, and there is increased risk because you have a strong subtropical jet. But there is a caveat to that. Right now, we have a strong easterly QBO, probably the strongest we've had in a long time, and research has shown that the QBO weakens the subtropical jet. So this is a different year. This is El Nino, not Modoki El Nino, and I don't know if they have this correlating with other factors, or if it's just because we have El Nino, we're gonna have warmer or wetter conditions across the United States. That doesn't mean that's not the case here. You gotta look at other things. QBO again, easterly, very strong. There is research that it weakens the subtropical jet and could lead to drier conditions where we've had the drought here in the spring. But I'm not bought into that yet. But it's just other things you got to look at when looking at the pattern, and there could be a difference with the El Nino, Modoki, El Nino, and what happens with the other factors happening. So next slide, another thing that really it could influence the fall is the sunspots. Okay, the solar minimum. So what this is it shows how many sunspots there was from the sun and it impacts the world, and we've had the most no sunspots for days in a row ever in 2018, and this correlates well with 2009, 2010. I'll show you my my analogs with all these solar minimum years, but from my research, solar minimums do increase cooler risk. They could increase the blocking, which leads to cooler risk across Kansas and across the whole United States, particularly the central and eastern United States. And if you look back at 2009, 2010, those were some nice fall analogs that were cooler than average. And the solar minimum, it really could be a factor heading into the fall. It could be a big factor, or it could be a weakened signal. I'm not sure yet, but from all the analogs I've seen from these solar minimum years, they were cooler ones. So there's more of that. There's more to this than just a solar minimum, but I mean, it increases the risk that we could have some cooler risks, especially as we head from late September to November. And this is the analogs package, the seasonal correlation with September-November solar, and a lot of troughiness across the whole United States except for the Northwest. And so are you seeing a correlation here? If we go back some slides, Northwest heat, Northwest ridge. Go back here, Northwest heat, Northwest ridge. So we're beginning to see a correlation between all of these factors, pointing for a warmer Northwest and a cooler South and a cooler Southwest and cold across the central and eastern United States. So we're building this forecast right now from these analogs and correlations with all this weather patterns going across among all these years. And here are the correlations for temperature anomalies during the fall where we had these solar events. 1964, 1966, 1967, 1969, 1975, 1976, 1977, 1979, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. And from all these years, I think 2009 is more of an analog year to look at because it had a low solar, easterly QBO. It also had an El Nino Modoki. So if we look at all those factors, yes, it could line up very similar to this year. And there was early snows across the central and eastern United States in 2009 in the fall. And there's potential for that again. And as you can see, there would be there again, Northwest. I'm telling you, Northwest ridge. And what happens here is the jet stream is right here, right? You have a ridge, and what happens is the jet stream goes over this ridge and goes across all the eastern United States and bringing very cool temperatures. So there is a cooler risk heading on as we go into the fall with the solar minimum analogs. And this is what happens by month, the solar minimum index. And I do think that September is going to start out warm, and then it goes cooler. And it agrees perfectly with the solar minimum analog, which I have here in the correlation. There's a ridge in the west. I do think we're having a ridge right now in the west. I think it's a recurring pattern, especially for the next couple of weeks. We're gonna have a ridge in the west, and we're gonna have these troughs digging into the eastern United States. So I do think it's going to be a very, very cooler risk, especially down here across the eastern United States, a warmer risk in the western. And into October, the ridge gets more shunted out to the west. You get the trough digging in. You can see there's the big. What's showing here is you get a subtropical jet down here, your polar jet stream out here. So October looks cooler, and it looks colder than it has been the last couple of years, in my opinion, right now, because of all these factors going into this. You can see it's a very, very cool east, and again, the troughs definitely support a cool east, and you can see the ridge gets pulled back to the west, so I think there's cooler risk from the Rockies eastward this time in October, and there could be some early snows, especially in the Northeast in October. I don't think there's going to be early snows. There could be potentially early snows. I will show that later, my early snow forecast. But I do think there is potentially a chance there's early snows here across the central and eastern United States. So I'll show you in an image later. And November is a tricky month here. And why I'm saying this is because there's a lot of different analogs saying different things. The solar minimum here shows the southwest having a huge trough and having a very cool regime across a very cold. We're in November now, so it's going to be cold. A very cold regime across the western United States. There is still a ridge here, so I'm not really agreeing with this warmth or this cooler anomaly up in the northwest. I think it'd be more warm risk, so you'd have your jet stream basically going like this and pushing northwest or northeast. And the potential is there for the maybe the high maybe to come back a little bit in November. Give the northeast some warm possibility here. As you can see up in here, not negative NAL. Sorry, it's positive NAL. But there is potential for, again, some cooler risks here across November, and it could be cold. I mean, there is potential for a white Thanksgiving this year, but again, this forecast is going to change in the next couple of months. So stay tuned for that. So here is a graphic I made on QGIS. If you want to know what that is, I'll have a link in the description. It's a very cool map that you can create weather images on, and you can do whatever you want on here. And what I made a graphic of is where early frost potential is most. I mean, what I didn't put frost down here in Georgia and Louisiana, South Texas. They usually don't get frost until December, and that's not fall anymore. That's winter. So I just put the areas where I think there's potential to be the most frost, early frost, in the fall months. And again, the average. I know for my average is November. It's late October, early November. I think the potential is we could get early frost mid-October. And again, whatever you guys see up here. So if you look at Minnesota, I don't know when your first frost usually is, but I do think it will be 10 days earlier than what it usually is. And I mean, whatever happens, because you're gonna have more colder. When you get a trough, it's gonna be colder because of the solar minimum, I think. So when you hit the colder risks, they'll be more colder than they were last year. So there could be more early frost, especially for the northern plains, northeast, and maybe possibility here in the central plains. And so here we go. September outlook. So the September outlook was more favored for the solar minimum and El Nino Mendoki. And even if we don't even get to El Nino Mendoki yet, we're going to have a neutral Enzo. So what that still favors is warmth in the west. And so that's what I went for. I went warmth in the west, cool anomalies in the east. And I do think there's potential that we get very, very cool the second half of September. First half, there is going to be some warmth. But I do think we'll cool it down a lot in September. So again, outlook shows cold east, warm west. October outlook. So what I did here is I did a pullback in the ridge, but I also made the ridge stronger. I also made the trough stronger. So when you have a ridge that's strong, you're going to have a downstream trough that's strong. And so what happens usually is you have very warm temperatures, very cold temperatures, and that's why I went for this outlook. I said, I think it's going to be cool across the central plains, but I do think it's going to be a cold October across the northeast and the eastern United States, basically where that trough can dig in and create very cool temperatures. I have seen some models. I know CFS can't be trusted. The CFS 46, they can't be trusted, but it's showing some pretty big troughs heading into the Northeast, and it's been consistently happening, especially in September. So I do think we keep that pattern. The troughs will get stronger in October. I think there's an early snow risk, especially here in the Northeast where that colder temperatures are. But there could be a caveat to this as well. Warm temperatures off the East Coast could diminish this frost cold October look, but I don't think it will. I think it's going to be cold October for much. I think everyone east of the Rockies is going to have a cold October, and everyone west of the Rockies is going to be a warm October. And I know we've had a very warm fall for the last couple of years. It's looking like it's going to happen again in the West. Equal chances, especially in Colorado and points north of the Rockies are. So I'm not sure. I think there could be I think you could get colder risk, but I also think the risk could expand to get a warmer risk. So it's kind of a mixed signal there. As we head into November, I went cold for the central United States, just looking at the analog showing the southwest trough, and the more the signal strengthens in November. So I went with this, and there is going to be a ridge in the northwest across here. So that's why I went for ridge northwest. I went for trough central and southwest. And the east, I predict equal chances. I will be totally honest with you right now. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the east. If it's going to be warm or it's going to be cold. I'm not sure. The Bermuda high might act up a little bit in November, but it also could be suppressed down to the south. So I don't know. But looking at the analogs, I see more cold, especially in November, across the central United States, with potentially a winter storm threats as of November for the central United States. I think October is a winter storm threat for the Northeast, but for us, November is our chance for us in the Central Plains to have some action and some winter storms. And here's your early snowfall outlook. I think that this map could be up. I'm going to update this map a lot. I think this upcoming couple of weeks, there's going to be a lot of factors heading into it, because the snowfall, it really depends on where's the storm track, where's the cold weather at, and where's the ridge. If the ridge is way eastern than I think, and the sun's hits in it, you're not going to have even early snow in Indiana. This is not possible. You're going to have early snow over here. I'll give you a place where I think there's going to be early snow. Whatever happens, there's going to be early snow, and that's across the Northeast, across here, across Maine, across Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, across this area. Definitely has the most potential for early season snow. And next time I make a graphic saying 90%, 80% chance as we get closer to time. But again, I do think we get colder in October. I think we also can get some light snow events across Central Plains in October. It's not going to stick to the ground, but there could be some flurries to light snow across Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Central in there in November. And I do think that there is more of potential this year for early snowfall than it was last year. So after that, once we went through our fall outlook, and you saw all the fall outlooks and stuff, and I showed you every single month of fall. Now I'm going to show you a winter sneak peek that I think has potential to be this winter. So all these years, I think 1 year sticks out. 2009, 2010 had an El Niño Bedelki, had an easterly QBO, and had a low solar. And surprisingly enough, that was the most snow Kansas City has ever had in history. So am I saying it's going to be the snowiest winter better than 2009? No. It could. I think it'll be less snowy. I'm sorry. I don't think anything's going to be 2009. We had consistent winter storms in Kansas. I don't remember it, but it was great. I mean, it was wild. But I don't think this winter's going to be as good as this winter, that winter. But it could be. It could be better. But I do think, again, you have a northwest ridge and a trough digging into the southwest and having a huge trough across much of the eastern United States. So for me, winter looks cold, and you can see here's the Jamstack model. The new one could have came out after recording this video. I don't know, in August. This is one from July. There could be one from August that I didn't get. On the right is the European seasonal, and man, the European seasonal on the right, man, that is bullseye for snow across from the southwest in Texas all the way through Kansas and up northeast. And that's a jackpot pattern. And it does support, there's a lot of blocking. And again, the storm minimum increases that blocking. So winter's coming, and it could be cold. So I'll keep you updated with that on my Twitter. Again, winter's a long way away, so we're not going to dig in too much into much more information about this. Again, it's way too much out there. So again, I don't want to dig too much into winter, but an earliest winter sneak peek for you guys is right now it's looking like a cold winter across much of the United States. And again, and here's a Pioneer model. This is the model from Joe Stardy and then from Weather Bell. And man, what a winter! Again, from here, consistent blocking across Alaska. Can't get more textbook. Blocking in Greenland. Can't get more textbook than that. Blocking up in Canada. I mean, this is the polar vortex, boy, everyone. I mean, this is the polar vortex in the United States. And again, you have your trough digging in, and boom. So there it is, your early winter sneak peek, and there was your fall forecast. Thanks for watching. And here's my Twitter on the top, my website on the bottom. Hope you guys go and follow that, my Twitter. Go check out my website, a lot of interesting information on there. All my fall forecast up there as well. I hope you guys have a great day. Fall is coming. I'm excited for it. I hope you're excited for it. Winter's coming here soon too as well. Don't have official dates when I'm going to have my preliminary winter forecast, my official winter forecast, but they'll be soon. Probably preliminary in September or early October, and my final one late November sometime. So I hope you guys enjoyed this fall forecast. I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the fall and get ready for winter, because for me it looks cold and it looks like a fun packed winter. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe, please like this video, and if you want more weather updates, you can go to my Twitter. Thanks guys for watching. Have a great day, and goodbye.